Thank you, Emil. Thank you, Emil.
Do something different.
Thank you, Emil. Diet Coke.
Ooh.
Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke.
Oh,
what?
What's a 20 get me?
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
Hitting him with the 5 again.
Thank you, Emil.
More 20s.
Ooh. I love Diet Coke. Yes, yes, yes.
Here's 100.
Thank you, Daddy.
Ooh, here's 40.
Thank you.
I'm at a dollar.
Jesus, why do you have so much cash? How much cash does this guy have?
Let's see if he knows European. That's a 50 too. That's
fuck. How much? How do Europeans say thank you? Shit.
No, say thank you in European.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Man, what the fuck, Moneybags? For the audio listener, Emil has just handed me 150, and I can't even bother to count all this. Just a fuck ton of cash. And for everyone else, I'm so sorry, but that was oh boy, how do we describe this? That was my attempt at the latest disturbing trend on TikTok live, where people are acting like NPCs. And for my mom out there, an NPC is a
non-player character,
a non-playable character.
Wow,
NPC guy over here. Jesus Christ. It's got a lot of different connotations on the internet. It's by if you're being called an NPC from like an edgelord or an exceedingly online person, it's an insult. You're basically calling someone.
Oh, you're like, you haven't woken up yet in the.
Yeah, you're not red pilled.
Yeah.
You're just an NPC. You're someone who doesn't think for themselves. But so there's this.
Are we NPCs?
Yes. Yeah, I'm an NPC for sure. There's nothing going on up here. Sometimes no. I mean,
you seem perfectly suited for that.
For being an NPC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was taking that money. So I just want to play this clip. There's this woman on TikTok.
Everyone's seen her.
Everyone has seen her.
Everyone tuning into this has seen her.
But if you haven't, brace yourself, because it is probably one of the more dystopian things this podcaster has ever seen. So here we go.
Yes. Gang. Oh, yeah, strong woman. Oh, take it, Mark. You got me feeling like a queen.
Okay.
Who's coming up with the things she's saying? Is she making those?
I don't know.
Or are those like TikTok sounds?
I don't know. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, you can't see it, but she's popping popcorn with a flat iron.
That's what she's doing?
She's got a hair flat iron thing, and she's got a little tub of unpopped popcorn kernels, and she's sticking them in the hair straightener
until they pop.
And
what is that for?
I don't know.
Okay.
But as people are gifting her, I guess on TikTok you can gift people certain little items like ice cream cones or coins or whatever, and each one has a dollar value equivalent, and this woman can then cash out all of that shit. And I'm assuming that for each thing that people give her, she has a reaction for it. So if they give her a coin, she's saying yes. And then if they gift her a little ice cream, she goes, ice cream so good.
Ice cream so good. Oh, thank you. You got me feeling so cool. Yes. Oh, thank you.
I don't like seeing her daughter in the background.
There's a child in the background?
Yeah, go back like just a couple seconds.
Right here?
Thank you. You got me feeling so cool.
You don't see a child moving?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, there's a little child.
Well, I knew because I've seen videos where she breaks character and she says, I told you to go to bed. Get in bed.
That explains this tweet from Ian Miles Chong, who's probably, do you know who he is?
Kinda. He's like IDW adjacent, I think.
IDW.
intellectual dark web.
Oh yeah. He's I think he's based out of Singapore or South Korea or somewhere in Southeast Asia, and he's part of the intellectual dark web. But he had to chime in, of course, and he said TikTok live streamers are getting completely out of hand. This woman even neglects her toddler to pander to viewers on stream. Motherfucker.
Wait, play the clip. I want to see her do it.
You want to see her neglect her child?
No, I want to see her. I like when she. I think she's Quebecois. I like when she speaks French.
Look at this. Look at this still image. She's got a fucking fake cowboy hat and mustache on. She's got like 1.5 inch long nails, and she's popping. Fucking God.
I do like when she goes.
Okay, let's see.
Ice cream so good. Thank you, Lopez. Slay, huh? Ice cream so good. Ice cream so good. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Take you, Blake. Take you, Jace. Gang, gang. Take you, Josh. Take you, I don't know. Take you, Tay. Take you, I am. Ooh, ooh. Yes, yes, yes.
I can't watch it.
Where's she neglect the kid?
I guess the fact that she's doing this constitutes neglect. If you are not constantly on your taking care of your kid, you are neglecting your kid. It's fucking stupid. This guy's a moron. He's always got the worst takes on the entire internet.
He says the quiet part out loud.
He says the quiet part out loud.
He's woken up. He's taking the red pill. He's not NPC.
Yeah, he's it's really, I don't even want to spend time on this guy.
No.
But so, oh boy, it is a.
I had no idea what was going on. So I was at a bachelor party because that's all I do. I go to bachelor parties.
That's
every
true.
week.
That is your professional.
If it's not a wedding, I go to a bachelor party. Yeah, I do feel like I'm going a little bit crazy.
What does that have to do with these?
But I was like, I would scroll Twitter every so often, and I'd go, "What is this? What's happening on?"
You'd turn around and show the guys.
Yeah,
what's going on?
What are
guys?
these?
Yeah,
and then someone was trying to explain it to me.
It's a way for people to now make money. As all the social media companies are competing for creators, Snapchat is the best one. They pay the highest amount. Like
but that's just like story after people post story after story, and they're making.
And this is so that comes from advertisers mostly, and this is people getting creative with audience interaction. It becomes a thing where you're encouraging people to interrupt the broadcast and interrupt what's going on to kind of control it themselves. And then you get that kind of thing where she's popping popcorn, but constantly having to stop to say her dumb little catchphrases.
She has extremely long nails too. It looked very difficult
to pop popcorn.
To take a kernel and place it onto
a hot iron.
While popping imaginary bubbles.
I mean, I got to give it to her. The woman is professional. She's damn good at what she does. And she apparently makes upwards of $4,000 a month. She even said at one point, I think she's making like $7,000 a month. So I say good for her. But
nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, here's another one of hers.
Ooh, I like her outfit.
Of course you do.
Amazing. Fire. Yes, yes, yes. Nova, you calling me? You love me? Oh, I love you too. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Ooh, 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 ooh. Fire, fire.
What? Where's her? I want her speaking French.
I don't know, man, but Jesus. Is she Brazilian?
Type in, what's her name? Pinky Doll?
Pinky Doll?
Type in Pinky Doll breaks character.
Pinky Doll breaks character.
Fuck. No. Well, you also wrote Pink Doll. You wrote Pink Doll.
Pinky Doll. Jesus God. Okay. Pinky Doll. Fuck me. Okay, here we go. She broke character and people tripped out.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Vas-y. Va mettre ça dans ta chambre. C'est pas un jouet. Balloon.
She goes right back.
Ah, deux.
Toi. Balloon. This is, I just have to say that I need to apologize to someone, and I think we all collectively owe an apology to, do you know who I'm going to apologize to?
No.
The Unabomber. He had some good points. This is, on the one hand, I don't. There's there's some good of this. Like this woman is providing for herself and her child. On the other hand, people's brains are so broke. Who's out there giving her money to do this?
Seems like a lot of people.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I get it. It appeals to like our worst impulses, right? It's like you just get to make the person do something over and over and over again.
Yes. That's not the only kind of, there are all sorts of different.
It's like a virtual dunk tank.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. So I want to play for you a couple other interesting ones. So here's I'm going to make it bigger. This is probably some kind of ASMR thing.
Right. She's not the only one doing it. Everyone's getting in on the action.
Everyone's doing their own kind of thing. There are 10,000 people who are watching this particular live. And for the audio listener, it is a doll's mouth. And this person is wearing gloves and just spraying it over and over with water, it looks like.
Are they making her do stuff?
I have no fucking idea. Oh,
ew,
cool.
I don't like that.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do anymore. Here's one. It is simply a woman asleep on a couch, and there's all sorts of different things the sounds that you can play to make her
wake up. Wake her up with a fart. How is no one making it fart?
She's totally being held captive.
Right. Got it.
All right, here's an interesting. This is clearly a woman in like Malaysia or something.
Why?
Because of how she's dressed.
Okay.
And she's slowly inflating a giant balloon and looks like shit. And she's just, apparently if you give her one of these mawars, she'll pump a balloon.
That's actually a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal.
If you know the conversion rate on mawars,
you get one pump a balloon.
One pump a balloon that's kind of a great.
Well, let's see how it works.
Pause it for a second. I do have to say, people are getting pretty creative with it.
Yeah, BuzzFeed was one of the first people to do this kind of thing.
I'll go nuts for a pump a balloon. Does she actually pump with a balloon?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it pops. Let's see.
What a ripoff.
Okay, man. Yeah, what a ripoff, man. Oh, and here's this guy. He's stacking fucking.
See, now this is not a good deal.
There are 887 people watching this guy in where is he? I can't even tell. It says his name is Vlad CNN, so I'm assuming somewhere in Russia.
Stupid! No.
I think this might be what happened with CNN Plus.
My friends, camp.
What?
He might work for CNN.
And now. Oh man, very topical.
You know how CNN Plus?
Yeah, I remember CNN Plus. When did that go under? 2 years ago?
I don't think it did. I think they sold it off to Vlad CNN.
CNN, he's just stacking the world's most pathetic one-ply toilet paper.
Vlad, if you want people to tune in, you better pump a balloon, dog.
Jesus Christ! So these are the people, and they're all emulating this.
Pinky Doll.
Pinky Doll is the most popular here in America. I guarantee by now she's making upwards of 20 grand a day because people have got to be tuning in and sending her all sorts of coins and shit. And
begs the question, what are we doing here?
We should be on there supporting her. Yeah, I bet she's live right now. Okay, so this woman...
I can't believe I just did that for free.
I know. This is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You were giving me way too much money for it.
Yeah, hella cash.
So this woman, Natue Coco, was the winner of TikTok Japan's 2022 Live Creator of the Year award. She's really fucking good at this. She looks like, have you seen this? She looks like a video game character.
Does she pump a balloon?
No, she doesn't pump a balloon, but look at this. Watch this. She looks like an actual video game character.
Yeah. There's a filter on her, right?
Yeah, her eyes are definitely not that big.
Okay, for sure. No, I'm just...
And her cheeks that's not a natural blush.
Yeah, no, I was asking for the audience. I think they were getting confused. I knew.
Wait, look at this. Watch her laugh.
Is this a sex thing?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course it's a sex thing.
For sure.
You want to know who Pinky Doll's #1
Oh, I know. I saw
viewer
it already.
was?
Timbaland.
It was Timbaland. Yeah. The-
Timbaland? Timbaland.
Fuck, this is suddenly the whitest we've ever been.
Yeah.
Timberland. It's like my dad used to call Snoop Dogg Snoop Doggy Dog, which is what he
That was
used
his
to be
name,
called.
to be
yeah.
fair.
Yeah, but then he got rid of it in the fucking
If you really
90s.
want to date ourselves, we used to call Diddy Puff Daddy.
Then it was P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Then it was.
We've lived through every iteration of Puff.
That's true.
That's
I
how old
miss
we
it
are.
was just Puff Daddy. What's he now? Sean Puffy Combs?
I think he's Diddy.
Diddy. That's right. Yeah.
Puffy.
Diddy. I don't know. Did he? Didn't he?
You tell
Puffy?
me.
Fuck. so, oh Jesus. I don't know what's happening anymore. It doesn't get any more dystopian than this.
Oh, just wait. It will.
How do you think it's going to get worse than this?
I mean, how could I tell? But this is so early days.
I want someone to do a Fight Club on the internet.
I think they're already doing
How
that.
how they blow things up.
Oh.
Yeah.
The plot of.
I want someone
yeah.
to do the blow up. I'm surprised there haven't been more.
Copycats?
Yeah, because of the internet's love and admiration now for there is a large contingent of
That's why I'm trying to. You know what the problem is?
what?
It's too easy to get guns and not easy enough to get bombs. So everyone's doing mass shootings, but what we need is to get bombs. All those guys,
But he's talking about blowing up buildings without people in them, right?
not the
Yeah,
guy.
that's what I think you meant. Is that we did that? I'm just surprised though that because there are so many young men who are disgruntled by this and rejecting modernity.
Disgruntled by this?
Yeah, this kind of thing. This is the
Like in
this
the
is
sense that they're
peak-
jacking off?
This is peak modernity that a lot of people are starting to reject, and I am surprised that there haven't been more attempts on large server farms and things like that.
And you're agreeing we should make bombs more readily available.
I don't know.
We'll
I don't know how
discuss.
you make bombs more readily available, Emil.
I do.
How?
I don't know.
Army surplus stores?
I also think it's a bad equivalence because it's pretty easy to make bombs, isn't it?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a guy on TikTok also who used to show kind of things like that, but it was more anarchist kind of. It was like doing the anarchist cookbook thing.
Right.
Like, here's how you disable a car that you might not want in your neighborhood, like a cop car kind of thing. Anyway, so I had to share this with people because this was truly one of the more upsetting things that I've seen in a good and bad way. I'm equal parts entertained, laughing about it. Can you just touch me with your foot?
Yeah.
Jesus
It was
Christ.
an accident.
Oh my gosh. Because you can do that whenever you want. But anyway, oh yeah, God, we're getting foot cam going, aren't we? Oh boy, there it is.
But regardless, I think this lends itself to the other big thing going on right now, which is the actor strike that we're going to talk about. And
Yes.
part of it is how much people will care. I mean, if everyone, if the captive audience is just watching TikTok lives and paying people to hair straightener popcorn, doesn't bode well for any of this.
I disagree. I think that there's so much entertainment out there that it's become such a niche. Niche? Fuck.
I think you said
we're
it
just
wrong
going to
both.
get absolutely roasted.
I think
in
you
the
said it
comments
wrong
today.
both times.
Yeah, I did. What is it then? Niche?
Niche.
Niche? No way. Okay, whatever. Point being, there's enough entertainment to go around and satisfy every little desire that people might have, whether they want to watch a Netflix show, whether they want to watch some dipshit crack popcorn and say gang gang over and over and over and over, while giving them hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, one can hope.
What was Timbaland do? What is he turned by? Is he trying
He
to
was
fuck
jacking
her?
off a lot.
You think so?
He liked one specific thing she was doing and just kept.
What was it? Do you know?
No, I'm making all this
Oh,
up.
I would fully believe it if she kept going, ooh, Timba, and like shaking her titties or
Sure.
something.
But anyway,
Well, so yeah, speaking of the actor strike, I saw.
speaking of it,
Did you see Mission Impossible?
no.
It's so good. And it's the perfect thing for right now because part of I'm not going to spoil anything, but a big part. Dylan, did you see it? Of course he did. A big.
What? What was that?
What?
Nothing. You saw it.
Well, of course. A big theme in it is people versus AI. It's very
Spoiler.
prescient. This is just the episode
don't-
of
just
fucking
don't-
up words.
No, just it's fine. It was like the littlest thing. You
No,
don't
I
have to-
know.
Yeah. Just move on.
Shut up. Of course. Well, it was very on the nose, and I actually have a screenshot of something that our good friend of the show, Matt Grippy, said on Instagram. It was a very poignant. He said, "Round 2 of Dead Reckoning really solidified it for me as the best in the series. A meta commentary about the threat of AI on an industry and how the only way to fight against it is to showcase feats that only humans can achieve. You can play into the tropes of a genre without succumbing to what the algorithm expects of you. In fact, the way you surprise and delight people from within those constraints is what movie magic is. The way Gene Kelly or vaudeville era performers wanted you to see their blood, sweat, and tears on that screen is the same wavelength Tom Cruise is working on. He wants you to see how he spent $200 million to almost die. He leaves it all on the table. You see every blood vessel straining when he's hanging on that cliff. Yes, maybe he's a nutcase, but what's the alternative? Fat-ass Vin Diesel phoning it in, CGI Dwayne The Rock Johnson demanding you buy his new tequila. I agree with that.
Okay, great.
What?
No, well, I just want to explain what's going on here a bit because we're putting the cart before the horse. A
Oh,
little bit
yes.
Here.
What's going on?
So the writer strike has been going on since May 2nd.
Yes.
They're 70 something days into the strike. The directors, there was a point where they thought that the Directors Guild and the Actors Guild was going to be striking at the same time, which would probably end it very quickly. The Directors Guild was able to reach a deal with the production companies, but the the Actors Guild has just authorized a strike and gone on strike. So the union representing more than 150,000 television and movie actors is on strike. And this is big because this is the first time that the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild has been on strike at the same time since 1960, 63 years ago.
And a big part of it is AI, artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence and residuals are the big things. And but it's important to note. So when they went on strike together in the 1960s, that was the first time they won pensions, health plans, and residuals. So yeah, but it's getting nasty now.
That's right.
It's getting real nasty.
There were some leaks that I don't know if you want to call them leaks or if they were intentionally put out by the studio heads that their strategy is effectively starving out the writers.
Oh, dude.
They are basically saying they're going to wait until people start to lose their apartments, lose their homes.
So this was an article in Deadline. It's an anonymous head of the studio. So we don't know exactly who it is. But yeah, this is some of this from the article. Regardless of whether SAG-AFTRA goes on strike this week, because this was he said it before they actually authorized the strike. The studios have no intention of sitting down with the Writers Guild for several more months. This is a quote. "I think we're in for a long strike and they're going to let it bleed out," said one industry veteran intimate with the POV of studio CEOs. Receiving positive feedback from Wall Street since the WGA went on strike May 2nd, Warner Bros., Discovery, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Paramount, and others have become determined to break the WGA, as one studio exec blatantly put it. To do so, the studios and the AMPTP believe that by October, most writers will be running out of money after 5 months on the picket lines and no work. This is a quote. This is the one everyone freaked out about. "The end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses." A studio executive told Deadline, acknowledging that cold as ice approach. Several other sources reiterated the statement. One insider called it a cruel but necessary evil.
Yeah, because they can't seem to all come to an agreement on how residuals and payments should be structured in the world of streaming. And
right, and the problem is if you don't know what residuals are, like usually these things will tide over actors, writers, and people working in the industry, because if you're not working for a time, you will get residuals when it's, sold to another network and being played somewhere else and all these things. You get checks, and because these things were fought for in the studio system, when streaming came around, it wasn't really established. And you're seeing actors are now posting stuff. It was the woman from Orange is the New Black. I forget which character it was, but she posted, she was being funny. She was like, oh my God, look at all these. I'm going to be rich. Look at all these episodes I was in. And it's listing all the episodes. And then she gets down to the part where it's her payout and it's $27.
$27?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And I wonder what that's based on. Total hours?
Well, that's a good question, right? It is a very confusing thing. It's not, when you're talking about the studio system, it's related to individual shows.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about streaming, something like Netflix, it's like, again, they'll have to come to an agreement on how this is going to work, but it is definitely more confusing, right? You're talking about people paying a subscription fee to have access to all this content, not necessarily Orange is the New Black,
right?
Not necessarily.
There's an interesting perspective. There's this analyst at Wedbush Securities named Michael Pachter. You familiar with him?
No.
He covers media, entertainment, all that stuff. And he's talking about how the dumbest thing all of these studios and networks could have done was follow the Netflix model, which is exactly what they did. He said, what they should have done is pulled their content. This is a quote from an interview he did with Yahoo Finance. What they should have done is pulled their content from Netflix and kept it off of streaming for 3 years and not allowed us to become accustomed to an inexpensive way to view a mass quantity of high quality content.
Wait, sorry. He's saying who should have done this?
The other studios. All the studios and networks should not have followed the Netflix
and gone into
streaming. Because
streaming.
it got us all hooked on this.
Right.
Because
that's all content. Even music. We all used to have files. And before that, we had CDs and albums and whatever. But now it's just you pay $10 a month to have access to pretty much every song in the world.
So he said, getting us accustomed to an inexpensive way to view a mass quantity of high quality content, they blew it. And what's his name is the biggest behind Les Moonves from
CBS.
CBS, yeah. He's saying he's the biggest, being Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. He's the biggest culprit. So for him to say it's not realistic, because that's what Bob Iger was one of the ones who was quoted this last weekend. I believe he said,
well, we're going to watch that clip from
but he called the union's demands unrealistic.
Right.
So for him to call it unrealistic is insane, because it's not. And Pachter gives an example of sports. Sports figured out a way they can pay out 50% of overall revenue to athletes. I did not know that. And somehow that works. So yeah, the price of a ticket to a football game went from $25 to $200 or more, but we got more television. We now have Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night football. We used to only have one. So more football on TV because they have to pay the athletes more. You get better distribution of television or film to televised content if they pay the actors more, and you'll get better content. And succinctly here at the end, he says, I think Iger, who's only a few years older than me, is a Luddite. He doesn't get the tech. He's afraid of it. He's emulating it poorly. And I think he's just completely wrong. And I agree with that. I think that the way that they've gone about doing this, they've shot themselves in the foot. And now they're backed into this corner where this model is unsustainable, where you can't. It would be sustainable if you didn't have all of these entities, these people, these actors and writers to pay. Because otherwise, you're just getting, which is where Netflix stands to gain the most. They are the most insulated. They've shipped off, they've got like 25 shows in Korea filming right now. And those can get repurposed and changed into all sorts of different languages. They're good. They are not sweating at all. The ones who are sweating, they're not sweating. They have such high free cash flows. They're sweating.
No, I just don't know if like, oh, we have 25 Korean language shows.
But that's just an example. That's on top of the 15,000 titles that they've currently got available. They don't.
Yeah,
they're not hurting
Netflix
for.
Netflix show sucks.
Yeah, but the point is that they are not. The people who have it, they're the companies that have it the most difficult right now are
the ones trying to move into the streaming game.
No, the broadcast and network television companies, CBS, ABC, Fox, because they have.
Yeah, but they're all trying to move into streaming, aren't they?
Yes. So, but just the top of the docket for them is they need shows. They need soap operas, daytime. They need everything for the coming fall,
right?
Seasons, and they don't have that. So what I think is probably going to happen is these individual networks are going to have their own individual contracts with these unions. So you'll probably see, ABC or CBS or whomever drafting their own bespoke deal. I fucking hate that word, but it's true. It applies here. Bespoke deals with the various unions so that they can at least have something in place.
I can't see them not having a uniform deal for their. I can't imagine the unions accepting that.
Why wouldn't they? They're going to be different anyway by virtue of the model. I mean, broadcast television is going to be different than a Netflix anyway.
But you're saying they would be like, these things are okay at ABC, CBS, Fox.
For what it is that they're trying to. So like, if they're trying to just put on the new season of How I Fucked Your Dad, and it's coming out in the fall. Not a real show?
No.
Just whatever show that they're going.
Think of any other show.
I can't think. I don't know. I don't watch broadcast television. I was going to say The Big Bang Theory, but that's over. The Goldbergs.
Abbott Elementary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Abbott Elementary. They need to have that ready to go for the fall season or the
No,
spring.
But sometimes they don't. Like, that's the thing. These strikes will just disrupt it.
But if NBC is able to make their own deal with, I don't think that's the case that all the studios aren't collectively going to.
Yeah, that's what the Association of Motion Picture, like they have to strike a deal.
Exactly. But I'm saying that some of these studios are going to have to break off and just say, okay, let's make a deal.
You're saying that whole thing's going to break apart.
I think that it's going to break apart, and some of the individual studios that stand to suffer the most are going to just make their own deals, and then the streaming conundrum and the AI stuff that they're at a stalemate with will just get kicked down the road, is what I personally think.
I mean, so did you see Barry Diller talking about how
Barry Diller? No,
he's like a media mogul. He like launched all kinds of stuff, own production companies, but he said these actor and writer strikes could lead to Hollywood's absolute collapse. And so, I don't
just fucking pay him.
Right. I think they all go, they drum up all of this attention about how it's going to affect consumers. But the real story is that like all these people are workers and consumers are workers. And, that's the coolest thing about this is that you have very famous people talking about how these unfair labor practices affect their lives. And, I think people normally view actors as famous people who make a lot of money, but it's, you're talking about a union that represents 160,000 people. Mm-hmm. It's a very small percentage of those 160,000 people are making millions of dollars, right? A lot of them are working class people who are stringing together projects, just enough to make the minimum, which is you have to hit a minimum of about $26,000 to be able to stay on the SAG health insurance, those kind of things. There are the very public figures, Tom Cruise, Dwayne Johnson, all those people you just listed, but that is not the majority of
not at all
this union.
Yeah. Unfortunately, by the time this comes out, Netflix will have had its earnings. As of this recording, it's in a couple days. It's in a day or so. But I think that they're going to have blowout earnings and their stock's going to jump 10 to 20%. And I think that that's going to really enrage a lot of people because, like I said, they're going to be able to weather the storm better than anybody right now. And right now, having to not have to pay riders and crew domestically is going to basically just be a free bump on their margins. And they're just going to get away with, well, now, actually, it's going to be a really awful headline that it's really good for their bottom line, which people are already talking about. But
right, they've been talking about that since the strike started.
It's just another big bummer. So should we watch what?
Well, yeah. So it's cool watching very famous people step in and talk about taking power back. I mean, just on that Barry Diller thing, it was, David Simon, TV show creator, retweeted that Barry Diller quote, and he said, then it, because Barry Diller was saying the strikes could lead to Hollywood's absolute collapse. He said, then it needs to collapse. If you can't figure out how to pay your workers a full living wage and share some profit while grossing billions, paying yourself hundreds of millions and making Wall Street analysts happy with your numbers, your industry needs to be fucking rubble.
Good point.
Your point about sports stuff, it's like there are ways you're talking about massive profits here, right? There's, and media is going full. It's always like this when there's a strike. It's always like, well, how's it? It's not fair what they're doing. They're talking about, all the, just all the costs the production companies have, and like it's between $400 and $600 million that each of them are responsible for. But then you start taking CEO pays of all these companies, and it's like way more than this. It's like, okay, give them a little bit of haircut and there's your fucking money right there. You know what I mean? Stop with this fucking bullshit.
Give them stock in the company.
Another example of it is when it was Deadline. So when the Oppenheimer premiere was happening, they were in London, and the strike was called. They were no longer allowed to do press for Oppenheimer. So
they bailed.
Yeah, the actors bailed. And I guess they asked Matt Damon some questions. And then when Deadline Hollywood did the headline, they said, Matt Damon at the Oppenheimer premiere says that Hollywood labor strikes will be brutal for actors and his own production company, which has shut down one of his company's films. And then people watched the actual clip and they were like, that's not what, so they had to correct it. And they said, Oppenheimer star Matt Damon on SAG after going on strike. If our leadership is saying that the deal isn't fair, then we got to hold strong until we get a deal that's fair for working actors. It's the difference between having healthcare and not for a lot of actors, and we got to do what's right by them. And they put a previous version of this tweet was deleted for lacking Damon's full statement in the copy. We regret the inaccuracy and apologize to Mr. Damon.
Suck my dick.
So everyone's got to keep everyone honest here because.
Yeah. Do you want to should we play the clip of Bob Iger complaining?
Yes.
Okay.
From Sun Valley, Idaho.
Yeah.
They're checking in with
Bob Iger.
We're in the midst of a writer's strike, and very likely it would seem to have a actor's strike. How is that going to impact things, and what are your expectations there?
Well, I think it's very disturbing to me. We've talked about disruptive forces on this business and all the challenges that we're facing and the recovery from COVID, which is ongoing. It's not completely.
By the way, Disney lost over $1 billion on Disney Plus last quarter. Right. So of course he's fucking hurting.
Back. This is the worst time in the world to add to that.
Pause it. Is he hurting? Because he did just get, what was it, $27 million?
His compensation, but still he's got to answer to answer to Wall Street.
Disruption. I understand any labor organization's desire to work on the behalf of its members to get the most compensation, to be compensated fairly based on the value that they deliver. We managed as an industry to negotiate a very good deal with the Directors Guild that reflects the value that the directors contribute to this great business. We wanted to do the same thing with the writers, and we'd like to do the same thing with the actors. There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to a set of challenges that this business is already facing that is, quite frankly, very disruptive.
So they're not being realistic?
No, they're not.
Why not?
I can't.
Crucial question. Why aren't they being realistic?
Right.
Let's see what he has to say.
I can't answer that question. I would.
Oh, okay, sir. You can't. Did you see one of the things that just with the AI? One of the suggestions that was being put forward was for background actors to have their faces, their likenesses.
So you can have them come on for one day, and then you can just use them throughout the whole thing.
Why not just manufacture fucking fake people if you're at that point?
I don't know.
The Stable Diffusion is at such a it's I don't understand how stupid these people are. Okay, so now here's SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher.
For long time listeners, you'll know
She played
this is huge for me. I'm a huge Fran Drescher fan.
I'm a huge Fran Drescher fan too.
Huge Fran Drescher fan.
She's such a babe.
She is.
Ugh.
She just looks like a New Jersey mom. It's insane.
Oh man, so it does something for you, big time. How'd you yeah, okay.
But then when she starts talking about, supporting labor and everything.
You absolutely explode in your pants. Let's see.
No, that's I wasn't getting it.
I cannot believe it, quite frankly. How far apart we are on so many things. How they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs. It is disgusting. Shame on them. They stand on the wrong side of history at this very moment.
Fully agree.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Fully agree. And it's like I was saying earlier, they're losing millions and hundreds of millions of dollars because of this model that they've foisted upon people, because everybody had to copy Netflix, who, by the way, were the first to kind of disrupt the whole payment part of the industry. They were the first ones to undermine labor practices, and because they weren't adhering to the same rules as traditional Hollywood studios, because they weren't.
Ben, they were moving fast and breaking things.
That's exactly right. We love it when they move fast and break things. All right, so
no, but can you let's watch Sean Gunn, because it's crazy to what you don't often see them call people out by name, and Sean Gunn is in Marvel movies directly calling out Bob Iger.
Yeah,
it's
okay. Here we go.
I think that when Bob Iger talks about what a shame it is, he needs to remember that in 1980, CEOs like him made 30 times what their lowest worker was making. Now Bob Iger makes 400 times what his lowest worker is. And I think that's a shame, Bob. And maybe you should take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, why is that? And not only why is that, is it okay? Is it morally okay? Is it ethically okay that you make that much more than your lowest worker? And if so, why? Why is that okay? If your response is that that's just the way business is done now, that's just the way corporations work now, well, that sucks, and that makes you a person if that's your answer. So you should come up with a better answer than that.
Absolutely agree. Fully. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
he hits the nail on the head. I mean, we've all seen that chart of how the cost of living, the cost of everything has gone up, and yet the only thing that has not gone up with it is wages.
Right.
The minimum wage at this point should be, if it's going to be comparable to everything how it was when our parents were our age, the minimum wage should be upwards of like $40 an hour.
It's so nice seeing him actually call him out. You know what I mean? You have fucking Bob Iger sitting in Sun Valley, Idaho, going, they're just being unrealistic. It's like, what is unrealistic? The only thing that's unrealistic is the way that you guys have structured this entire thing.
Yeah.
Where you can sit there and make, I mean, and what value does he really bring? You know what I mean? You have these people.
I'll tell you what value.
These beloved people who people go to movies to watch.
Yeah.
No one knows who the fuck Bob Iger is. No one gives a fuck who he is. He is. Well, you have to give it to him. He's a very hot older man.
He is a good-looking older man. I mean, let's fucking
no.
Bob Iger. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy, I guess. He does. He kind of looks like a Bond villain. But it's making 400 times your lowest worker is quite a, I mean, Jesus, he's got a great point, and I think that this will make for an interesting catalyst for. I hope it makes for the perfect catalyst to open up a broader national dialogue on this exact kind of thing, where even though all the data points to the economy being strong, and friend of the show Kyla Scanlon points out that the vibes are actually pretty good out there, I agree with that, but I also know firsthand that so many people from my small pool of knowing, so many people are still paycheck to paycheck. And it's because of this kind of disparity between, the wealthy people and the people on the lowest rung of the totem pole, or the ladder.
Have you seen Ron Perlman?
No.
Okay, so his is I don't know how I felt about this one. Like the Sean Gunn stuff, it's like, this is great. You're capturing people's attention. You're giving them, it's like every actor has become radicalized and they've got good information. They're hitting you with the stats. And then, so this is in response to the Deadline article we were reading earlier about them wanting to wait until writers were desperate and they would just kind of take anything. And so this was Ron Perlman's response, which I don't know how useful this is, but
I'm guessing it's violence. It's a threat of violence. Let's see.
One thing before I get off this. The motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, motherfucker. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial. Some of it is karma. And some of it is just figuring out who the fuck said that. And we know who said that. And where he fucking lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing. Be careful, motherfucker. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up.
Oof.
Again,
Chachi.
It's like, are you telling people to He did respond and be like, I'm not trying to tell anyone to fucking go find someone's house and burn it down. Like, just don't fucking.
Jeez, I bet the right wingers who really hate Hollywood, I bet their heads are kind of trying to wrap themselves around who to side with, because they love to hate actors.
You hate the liberal pussy actor.
Yeah.
But you like the billionaire CEO?
Yeah. Because they're probably just not even going to chime in on this. They're probably celebrating the fact that there's no content coming out that's going to indoctrinate their children and contribute to the global cabal of adrenochrome farming.
Yeah. You know who has been chiming in?
Who?
Have you been watching John Cusack?
Oh, no.
He's been going absolutely nuts. He's been like piggybacking off people's tweets and just like, when David Simon tweeted the thing about it needing to collapse, he was like, yeah, the old way of fucking people over as a business model will collapse. How about just stop stealing and cheating and fucking people over, pay them living wages and residuals, stop lying about losing money. That's the shit that will collapse. And then I don't know who this lady was, but it was one of the it's a guy, John Baer, but I guess he still calls him a poop. So, because
who calls him? John Cusack calls him a poop
because he's, John Cusack's talking about how.
Thank you, John Cusack. Thank you, John Cusack.
John Cusack poop. We need to put an end to all this stuff, and he's calling him out for being, So when are you rich American socialists going to pool your money together with American middle class and poor socialists? Jeez. So when are you rich? And then he just goes, you stupid poop. You absolute fool. Dem socialism is FDR, the New Deal. You ever heard of it? You moronic ghoul. You mental oyster. You
mental oyster? What is that even supposed to mean?
I don't know.
I like it.
I like it too. You fucking stooge. We did band together for the GI Bill, the interstate highways, for workers' rights, clean water, Social Security, every right you have, you dumb fucking golem.
All right, John
apparently
Cusack.
he was holding a boombox over his head the entire time he said this. You mental oyster.
I'm gonna start using mental oyster. Really I really like that.
You moronic ghoul.
Speaking of movies, Barbie comes out next week, and I saw this great headline. Ted Cruz is upset about it because, of course, Ted Cruz only gives a shit about culture war bullshit. But apparently he said that there's Chinese communist propaganda in the Barbie movie.
Does he say what it is?
Yes. So there's a scene in Barbie where there's a map of the world. This is a direct quote from Senator Ted Cruz about the Barbie movie.
Oh wait, but I think I've seen it's not coming out in certain places like Vietnam. I think because
there is the quote, there's a scene in Barbie where there is this map of the world and it's drawn like with crayon. I mean, it's really a very simple cartoon. And so they have this blockish thing that is called Asia, and then they've drawn what are called the 9 dashes. This is Chinese communist propaganda in which the Chinese are asserting sovereignty over the entirety of the South China Sea, and they don't have any right to it under international law, but they are trying to take it away from their neighbors there.
So but doesn't it say Asia, not China?
I guess. But it goes on to say that the 9-dash line shows China's territorial claims over much of the South China Sea, in which the Permanent Court of Arbitration at The Hague ruled to be in violation of international law, but that hasn't stopped the nation from building 20 outposts and parcel islands and conducting naval operations in the area. The Barbie movie shows what a spokesperson for Warner Brothers described as a, quote, map in Barbie land is a childlike crayon drawing, which caused claimant nations like Vietnam and the Philippines to ban the movie or ask the film's distributor to blur the lines on that map. And then the Warner Brothers guy says, the doodles depict Barbie's make-believe journey from Barbie land to the real world. It was not intended to make any type of statement.
If you ask me,
it's fucking insane.
Ted Cruz is a real mental oyster.
Yeah, he's a total mental oyster. Jesus Christ, these fucking people, man. Should we talk about UPS striking?
Yeah, so that's
the other big thing. That's the other big strike that's looming that nobody's talking about. Because they're distracting us with the Barbie movie, South China Sea 9-dash line on the crayon map.
And it's a very, it's a similar thing, right? Demanding better. So this is 340,000 UPS workers. A large majority of them are represented by the Teamsters. They are demanding better pay, more full-time work, and that's important. So I think over half their workforce, or just about half their workforce, is part-timers. Better job security, and an end to the two-tier 22.4 job classification. It's where it creates lower paid tier of workers who basically do the same work but worse pay. And apparently UPS and the Teamsters came together, got pretty far there. This was according to the Teamsters president, Sean O'Brien, who's like a perfect guy, just like a bald guy from Boston. I feel like
that's exactly who I think of when I think of a Teamster.
Yeah,
a bald
if you don't have
Boston
like a
Sean,
yeah, if you don't have like a Boston or New Jersey or New York accent, you shouldn't be allowed to represent a union.
Yeah.
God, Fran Drescher and Sean O'Brien.
What, fucking? Imagine them together?
I don't know.
Yeah, it says a sticking point in negotiations is pay increases for part-time workers who account for roughly half the UPS workforce, like you said, and tenured part-time. What the fuck? How can you be a tenured part-timer?
It's a great question.
Yeah, they're particularly frustrated because they make just slightly more than new hires whose wages have jumped in a tight labor market. But so this is a big deal because it could very well... If it UPS is again kind of like these streamers, they're in it, or these networks and shit, they're in a position where they've got to choose the lesser of two evils. Because the longer this goes on,
people are just going to jump ship. They'll go to FedEx. They'll use whatever they have to DHL. This happened to them. It was, I think, 1998. There was another strike, and it was devastating for them.
Yeah.
They don't want to go on strike, but they seem perfectly happy with it. Also, I just want to get this out before we forget about it. I mean, so they're also talking about they want an end to excessive overtime, better protections against company harassment, because they're literally talking about how they'll be followed by supervisors and stuff, being like, watching them take too long of breaks, doing all this fucking bullshit. The elimination of driver-facing cameras, them being watched and told they're not working hard enough. And then protection from hot weather. I'm sure you guys saw all the stories about,
last year, yeah.
UPS drivers passing out. And there was one man, 24-year-old Esteban Chavez, died due to extreme heat. So they're trying to get AC in these trucks. And I mean, It's only getting hotter. You know, it's weird all around the world. It's like a worldwide heat wave.
Well, it's not real. It's fake liberal propaganda. Right.
But yeah, and it's the same thing. You know, they're playing the same story as with the, you know, the media stuff with the Hollywood strike, right? They're talking about. It was hard finding all this information. It was like when you Google it, it's like how much the UPS strike could cost the country.
Yeah,
we're talking about you know, one of the costliest in at least a century, topping $7 billion for a 10-day work stoppage, right? And it's like, you're not gonna be able to get your Amazon package. You're not gonna be able to get anything you fucking need. These greedy Teamsters.
Yeah. A strike could delay millions of daily deliveries, including Amazon orders, electronic components, and life-saving prescription drugs, which is certainly true. They added that this could also reignite supply chain snarls that stoked inflation.
Right.
Or that stoke inflation, rather.
We're just finding our way out of it. Do you really want the Teamsters to push us back into it?
I mean, that's not the vibe that I get from this Reuters article. This is more, I mean, that is certainly true that could.
Yeah, but it's always talking about like if the Teamsters decide to do this, right?
Oh, instead of if the company decides.
Why doesn't UPS decide to do the right thing?
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Why doesn't UPS decide to share in the profits that is only possible because of?
Yeah. Oh boy. And then the Teamsters president said that he asked the White House not to intervene.
Which I love. You know why?
Because they would. Why? What? Go
ahead. They probably wouldn't allow it to happen. Remember what happened with the fucking railroad strikers?
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. It's like, dude, please don't. I mean, he had a great. This is why you need. This is why you need union presidents from the Northeast. He said, my neighborhood where I grew up in Boston, if two people had a disagreement and you had nothing to do with it, you just kept walking. We don't need anybody getting involved in this fight.
You just kept walking. Well, the good news is that big banks are reporting blowout earnings. So at least that's happening. At least they're making good money.
Right. Would someone think of the banks?
They're not going to have that issue. Well, I guess we're just about wrapped up with the main episode.
No. We should go longer.
It's 57 minutes.
I know, but we can go. We don't have to wrap it up before.
No, I know. But I'm just saying I was going to get ready to tease what we're going to talk about in After Hours. The worst video that we've seen in a long time. The absolute worst thing I've seen in probably over a year.
Don't you want to talk?
No, but I'm just teasing it, and we'll continue. I've got something I want to talk about. Janet Yellen got fucking high on mushrooms on accident, but I am just teasing for patreon.com/paypigspod. It's the worst fucking video I've seen in a long time. And we are going to do a movie night soon where I'm going to watch Monsters, Inc. for the first time. Yeah, I'll probably get high and watch it too, because why not? But
you're going to get high and watch it?
Yeah,
you might get scared.
Shut up. Can't scare me. So Janet Yellen, the teeny tiny Treasury Secretary, who's 76, consumed 4 servings of...
I also don't... whatever. I don't buy this.
I buy it because... Yeah, it is a bit of a sensationalist kind of headline.
I mean, it's literally... Okay,
it's
but go ahead. Tell them what
Jing, a type of wild mushroom at a casual restaurant in Beijing shortly after her arrival on June 6th. The media coverage was quite enthusiastic and even praised her chopstick skills. However, these particular mushrooms are notorious in their native province of Yunnan for their unpredictable psychedelic effects. So apparently if you consume them, it sounds to me like puffer fish kind of thing where, hey, you might get poisoned. You might have a trippy thing.
Right. I think she was completely fine.
Yeah. Well, she did like bow a couple of times. Yeah, she did some weird bowing, but she's also...
I would also do a weird bow. I would be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Also,
aren't you supposed to bow in Japan, not China? Or do you do both?
I'm not familiar with
Who can be sure?
I would be so nervous using chopsticks. I can't believe they commented on our chopsticks.
You don't know how to use chopsticks? Well,
I didn't say that.
Okay. Why would you? Well, then why would you be nervous?
Because they're all so much better. They could just.
Would you be nervous using a fork in a?
Go ahead. No, finish
Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah, the most Italian.
I will say I've noticed some people who have poor knife and fork skills. There is a proper way to like cut a steak or cut meat with your fork and knife. So many people will take their fork and just hold it like a fucking brute and just like that and then cut. No. You take it overhand and man, the audio listeners just fucked. The
videos listeners fucked too.
You poke it like
they know how to use a fork and knife.
Not everybody. They be grabbing it like the wrong way. Like I said, just holding it and smashing it down and then just cutting like that. This looks barbaric.
For the record, the man who didn't know how to wipe his ass until 25 is now.
I knew what I was doing. I was standing up.
Is now telling you how to use a fork and knife.
How to use fork and knife.
We know how to do it. There's no
Not
arguing
everybody.
here.
Yeah, you see what these people are doing here? Do you see
I
this?
understand it.
Do you see this? Yeah, your point. You want to use your
When
index
did you go
fingers.
to finishing school? I don't understand.
I just noticed these things. And yeah, some fucking people do it the brute way with their stupid it's really funny looking. It's really silly. Because I don't know. So I wouldn't be nervous in any way because I know how to eat, except for I don't know how to use I don't know how to use a spoon to eat spaghetti. But I wouldn't be nervous about it. I'd just be like, all right, you know what? They're going to judge me. Someone come teach me. Have the waiter come over and show me. Feed me like a baby.
I will say I'm not super adept at chopsticks. I'm
Really?
fine. I'm fine with them.
I'm
I can
not-
get by with sushi. Big thing to pick it up.
Yes.
I will say I was on a date last night at a Japanese restaurant and it was like
With noodles?
no, it was like everything that came out, like literally salads, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
fuck is
that's
going-
totally stupid and impractical.
Literally every piece of lettuce. It's like please, and then, I remember standing up and there was like just pieces of lettuce on the floor.
Although a baby tomato, an uncut baby tomato with a fork, that's just asking for trouble.
Oh,
it's either
squirting
gonna
on you. Yeah.
fly off or just skeet all over your face and your shirt.
Sure.
Yeah. I do like chopsticks though.
You like them?
Yeah, but not for eating everything. Yeah, when they give it to me, yeah, just noodles. Get the fuck out of here. Give me a fork.
You know what the restaurant chain she went to though, right? You know what it was called?
Janet Yellen?
Yes.
What was it called?
Well, it was called. Well, I don't know how you say it.
No, try it. Come on. Nobody's listening.
Yi Zhuao Yi.
Yi Zhuao Li. Yi Zhuao Yi.
Okay.
Okay.
The name means in and out.
Huh.
That's where she got her mushrooms.
In and out. That's not the best.
Oh wait, maybe that's a different place she just went to.
I like that she got 4 fucking servings of these mushrooms.
I don't blame her. They look good as hell.
Yeah, but to get 4 servings, that's so much.
Maybe she knew. It's like
Maybe
you
they
know.
were tiny things. Yeah, but still. I do like the idea of her tripping out and being like, wow, China's great. What was she doing there? Do we even know? Or are we more focused on her eating psychedelic mushrooms? This is where, I'm getting pissed off at the media doing this kind of thing.
You got to deflect somehow. You got to get the pressure off the White House because they just a bunch of cocaine just turned up at the White House. You got to send Janet Yellen to do some funky mushrooms.
I don't understand who gives a flying fuck.
About cocaine?
Did someone brought in cocaine?
That seems like a thing to give a flying fuck about.
Yeah, but wasn't it just a guest, like someone who was there on a tour just left their cocaine? So what? Wasn't that what it was? Or was it someone, one of the staff?
I still stand by that's something to maybe give a flying fuck about.
Okay, but was it someone in the staff?
They don't know who, but they can't figure it out.
Whose cocaine it was?
Yeah.
Was it a lot of cocaine?
I don't know. I would imagine it was Hunter Biden's.
Actually, yeah. I mean, how often does he go to the damn White House? If it was crack, we would all know.
Right.
It was.
I wish it
Hunter
was
Biden's.
crack.
That would be way funnier.
And then they could just be like, he forgot his crack.
Yeah.
Oops.
You forgot your crack,
Oops,
sir.
I forgot my crack.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Look, guys, if you
it doesn't even matter.
We also
What?
forgot to. Who knows if they'll even be available by then? But there's
What?
like 10 tickets left to.
For the LA show.
The LA
Yeah.
show, and we'll put the link in here if you want to do that.
Yeah. Stupid bitch.
And if not, they'll be gone.
Yeah, they'll be gone, and then you'll cry and be like, "Well, I did see that it was on sale." We've only been tweeting about it and fucking putting it on Instagram for what? What's so funny?
Who was that?
I don't know. Some guy who didn't get
That's
tickets.
our biggest fan.
I didn't see it was on sale. I didn't know. Gang. Man, this Diet Coke is not hitting today. I feel weird today. I feel like I'm in a weird position today. Is it the light?
You feel a bit like
Slouched?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Ben's back.
I don't know. I feel odd today.
It's okay.
I feel creaky. Well, I guess that should do it, and then we'll just roll into the bonus episode where we're going to talk about the worst video I've ever seen in the last year. It's fucking terrible.
I can't wait to watch it.
Okay.
We'll see you in there.
Bye.
Bye.